where you're going in this, because you can't have 3 blind mice.
No. That's true. You know, that brings me to my next question. And it's quite relevant to what we're speaking about. Do you think most artists know their value?
No.
Speak on it.
Because I've worked with lots of artists. I've worked with loads of American artists.
Yeah.
And I had to create the vision for them. They used to come to me, and I used to market them across the UK and everything. They'd come to me and say, "Oh, we want to get into the UK."
Yeah.
Okay, how? That's for you to tell me. And I used to say to them, "Well, that's my vision, not your vision." So, okay, then I will help you, and this is what you have to do. Make me X amount of videos.
Yeah.
These are the videos I want you to do. Here's the strategy. This is how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
I need you to do this. So they give me all the content and everything, whatever it is. Then I would go away and break them into the UK. But here's the thing. That was my vision.
Not yours.
And then when they do get to be able, then other people come over here and say to them, "Oh, well, I can help you better than he." And they go over to him or her. And then they find out, you know, the same way sometimes in relationships, the grass is not greener.
The grass is not greener.
And then you finish up having a situation where the artist now comes back to you, but you're not interested.
You're not interested.
And it's the most amazing thing. I've got this friend called Godfrey Fletcher. He runs Near to Soul, fantastic forum. He's been doing it. He's like the DJ or the podcasting or the platform that he's been doing this Near Soul thing right from the day one. For about 15 to 20 years he's been doing this.
Yeah.
He has been doing this, but people don't give him the recognition for he's doing it. And he's still doing it when everybody falls to the wayside, and he's still doing it. But the thing is, the artists do not appreciate you. They do not. And this is the same thing with all these creatives. It's like creatives, not saying all people, I can only talk about my experiences, you know, so I don't want people to get my head here. I'm just talking about from my experience.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
There are some. I've come away with some fantastic friends.
Yes.
You know, it's been more than that. A good example is Marcella, who suffered from cancer, and she decided to get into music about 6 or 7 years ago, and she had this album out, and I got to help her and supported her. And in the end, I finished up doing my own podcasting. You know, this is the thing I keep telling you about, as you keep talking about having different strands to yourself. So we did this podcasting thing where, first of all, we got the piece of paper. I said, "This is what I'm planning to do. I want you to come on board as a voiceover. Let's sign the contract. We own 50% of this, and you own 50% of this, and this is what the deal is." Everybody signs. Same way with the music. Here we write the song. Before we do anything else, before we go in the studio, everybody's clear, everybody signs, everybody knows what your percentage of the publishing is going to be, or what you're going to get as a recording artist, your percentages. They also know what you're going to, if you do write the songs, what everyone's going to get, etc., and how you're going to get it, when you're going to get it. And this is the same thing. And, you know, but I walked away from having four shows in America, Baltimore, Texas, Chicago, and West Indies. I gave it all to her.
Wow.
I gave it to her, you know, when I decided to do the music, I gave it all to her. The poetry, I gave it all to her. And she's doing really well with it. And I told all the station owners, she's now going to continue this for you. And that's what she's doing. And, you know, so, it's like, it's not, that's what she wanted to continue to pursue to do. And I knew that, so I said to her, I'm leaving this today. This is all for you. And also, I tell all the stations first, and they agreed for her because, you know, and she's doing a brilliant job. But guess what? I had nearly over 5,000 DJs and other people on my Facebook account. I closed it all down.
Jeez.
I said, I put up a notice, close in a week. I closed the whole thing down. I walked away from it. You know, people.
That's a lot, man.
I know,
That's a
but
lot
people,
to walk away from.
yeah, but people think that, oh, somebody's upset you.
Yeah.
They can't understand if something is finally not working the way you want to do.
Yeah.
Like I want to now concentrate on me. To concentrate on me, I have to shut you all off.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's about, really. And it's the same thing with the poetry thing, is that you've got to realise that we all are doing this for passion.
Yes.
We're all doing it, but how do you want to translate your passion into something that's sustainable,
tangible?
Because do you really still want to go and work 9 to 5 every day of the week?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do something that can be a business for you, and you've taken it from a hobby to now something more serious? And you know, it's like, for example, the other day I noticed that my niece, I didn't even know about this, but she actually's got a book out about you know, black children and everything, and I found out on LinkedIn.
Yeah. He wasn't direct.
No, I found out on LinkedIn. But what I found out was that she went to 25 publishers and they all turned her down. Yeah. And then she finished up doing it for herself. But now I'm doing a book. Yeah. I've got 2 books. I'm not going looking for a publishing deal. I'm going to create a market where people have to come to me.
Yep.
And that's the mistake too many people are doing. They all set in these. I'm not saying it's not good to manifest, don't get me wrong, but who is going to own what belongs to you?
Yes, that's the question.
That's always my first question. Is this mine? Do I own it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like people now in the music industry, after finding out they don't own their masters, they don't own their publishing, and there's a lot of starving people who've got lots of great hit records.
Absolutely.
And they're now starving out there. And the problem is they never owned anything.
No, nothing.
If you can't, that's why I like, you know, you like people like Dave, Stormzy and that lot. They've all realised it's all about ownership.
It's all about ownership. And you know, essentially what we're doing right now, this is the long game.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, you're gonna get the rewards, the massive amount of rewards on the back end, not on the front. And I think, I don't know if it's the culture that we're in, but most of us don't. Maybe it's an artist thing, but most of us don't think long term. It's all short term gains. You know what I mean? And if it's not short term, or if it's not giving me something short term to begin with, I don't want to know.
Yeah, and it's a good example of that is Curtis Mayfield. Curtis Mayfield refused to give people his songs, his publishing. You know, long-term game, but look, he owns his publishing, while lots of them lost hold of their publishing.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, and it's the same thing. We are now living in a society, my hayfield is playing that. We are now living in a society where it's TikTok.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's like I teach.
Yeah.
All the young people have got short term about everything is today, not building for the future. And you know, and the thing at the end of the day is that we don't know what the future is. We don't even know when we're going to even wake up. You know, like we may not wake up tomorrow morning. You know, so what is it that I've done today that makes me happy?
Yeah.
That makes me fulfilled? That makes me feel that I have left something. And, you know, and the big problem is and always is too many people want other people to do it for themselves. They don't want to do it for themselves. They want somebody else to physically do everything for them. Yes. They want somebody else to tell them what to do. They want somebody else to say, well, I'll take you under my wing. But all that costs.
Because that's effort, that's time. Time is money at the end of the day. You know, especially if you're giving information, the effort behind it, man, is so much. And I think a lot of people, especially if you're on the receiving end,
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to take.
Yeah, and it's,
You know,
just to add to this, it's that it doesn't matter how talented you are. You could be the most talented writer you've ever seen in the world. But guess what? There's somebody out there who's not as good as you.
Yeah.
But he puts in the effort.
Puts in the effort.
And, this thing, like the music industry, and the music industry, poetry, creative writing, it's not about you are the most talented.
No.
It's also about who have you got as friends, who's your connection, who your plugs, who can get you and elevate you on a higher level.
Network.
And it's the same thing as that you see in America with the Oscars and the Grammys.
Yeah.
And you see also within the record labels, they decide who they're going to turn the tap on for.
Yeah.
And who they're not going to.
They control everything, what goes in,
and
what goes out.
And it's the same thing we're dealing with poetry, authorship, creative writing.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
You have to be the owner of everything.
You have to be. And what I'm finding out as well is like, I think it's quite obvious as well. This is the best time. It's never been a greater time to be independent. You have so many platforms, so many social media platforms to begin with, and then you have just platforms where you can create, especially literature type of platform, or just like blogs. Where you can really just put work out there, and it can all come back to you.
Exactly. And the it's like, for example, I've seen a lot of people go to these poetry events, but I've never seen them filming themselves.
No.
I don't see them filming themselves. So what are you getting out of it? You've gone and performed for 4 minutes, but you have no content.
Yeah, no content.
So why don't you get somebody to film you and then take that content, and then your 5 minutes get extended
and multiplied, because so many eyes are going to see it after that.
Exactly. And it's the same thing. You can go out and perform every day.
Yes. On
the streets. I mean, I used to go on the streets. I used to go in the tube stations. Some people think I'm crazy, but you can perform anywhere.
You can perform anywhere.
And then content nowadays is king. You can have content every day. You can split that content of 7 minutes into 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 1 minute little video snips, and that's content for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's content. So it runs deep. It runs deep, but I think it's just sometimes it begins with just thinking, really. And I think it's fun because we talk about poetry.
Yeah.
And it's like we're going back to people not actually just using their head or think. But if we're talking about creators as we know them, naturally introverts, and so perhaps for a lot of people, art, especially like poetry, is a comfort zone.
I agree. I find poetry therapeutic. I find sometimes what I write therapeutic, and I look back at it, did I really write that?
Yeah.
I do. I find it therapeutic, but underneath it all, I'm passionate. I love it. It's like I have to do it every day because it's like something that I need to do because it makes me feel happy and comfortable. On my way on the train to work, I'm writing. Even in my spare time, I'm writing.
Yeah.
And you must, it's like anything. You have to learn your craft. You have to keep practicing the craft.
Yeah.
You have to keep, even some people say, well, you get writer's block, but I get writer's block now and again, but I don't get it as much as when I first started out because I'm writing every day. I've got myself writing. There was a Tanya Reid, I think I read, and she wrote Cassie, a lot of Cassie songs for Bad Boy, and she said that the first thing she was told was, even if get up at 6 o'clock every morning and write.
Yes.
Even if you write uncompleted things, You just get into the habit.
Get into the
of
habit.
Good practice of writing.
Yeah, you know, and it just goes back to sometimes, you know, sometimes when I speak, I always go back to this one word for some reason. It's culture, you know, and I think you just have to you have to be aware that what we're talking about, especially pertaining to a craft, you have to create a culture for yourself.
Exactly.
You know.
Yep, you have to, and also your culture can be your own culture from where you come from, or your culture can be something that's evolved.
Yes.
And it's evolved and then becomes somebody else's culture, like rap, rap and poetry and everything's taken off. It's now a culture. But the main thing is, like you've seen with rap and everything, is there was a lot of money made, but the community never benefited in 50 years of hip hop. The community's never benefited. And that's the thing about not only developing what you're doing for yourself, but how can you expand it? Like, for example, are we going to do, like, you know, the project that we're involved in with the kids at the school? You know, we're going to do the cross-college challenge, then we're going to do the 40 schools challenge. You know, we are building something. We're building something to inspire the seeds of other people. Also, it's also growing your philanthropic or your belief or your passion of how you see you are spreading or building or giving back to develop other young people to fill the gaps that we will be gone, but at least somebody or someone says, I enjoyed that. You know, it helped me. It, you know, it inspired me. And that's what we're here for. You know, we're here to really, as artists, to inspire others. But in a positive way, not in a negative way.
So it's kind of like, especially art, you know, you evolve to affect, and you know, in essence, that's how revolutions are born. You know,
but it's, you know, culture starts with a community. You know, culture starts with an inspiration, then it goes into a community, and then the community builds the culture, and then that big culture now becomes a platform where other people want to buy into that culture and to build into the culture. And it's similar to you as a poet, where, or you know, are you really a poet or are you a storyteller? Are you really a songwriter, or what elements of this strand of poetry are you within? Or are you the most important one, which is flexible?
Versatility.
Because you can be stuck in a genre of poetry or a style of poetry that will only appeal to a broader community or a minority community. Or do you want a more bigger platform of a community that you're working within? And that's how your culture grows. It's like, for example, I've got my Olumo Rock, but that's about Yoruba culture. That's about me telling people about.
That's pretty much who you are.
This is where I come from. This is where my parents come from. This is where my grandparents were involved in. My great grandparents were involved in this. They helped this migration. They were all part of this migration. They were part of building this community that became the Five Kingdoms. Only later on, 100 years later, to be taken over by the British Empire, because they didn't like this independent, you know, African Yoruba culture or Egba culture to be out there on their own, because, you know, they don't want, it's like with everything, they don't want you to succeed. So culture is great, but culture is also fighting against other cultures.
And culture means nothing if you don't own it.
Exactly. I mean, we don't own our own culture for the hair that we have. We don't own a culture for any of the makeup stuff. We don't own the culture of the clothes and everything that we bring, you know, even taken from African culture, you know. We're dealing with a society where we are not in control
of the culture,
of our culture.
Of our culture.
And we're not, and therefore we don't control anything, and we don't own anything.
We don't own anything.
And then we have an issue because we'll never be able to grow.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to be independent.
And then because we have no value essentially. So how can you know, people value, respect, you know, they kind of go together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, that takes the power.
Yeah.
It's so, it's intricate, but it's pretty simple at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, man, it's we have so much to speak about. But it's been great having you here, man.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I've been looking forward to this, because I knew, you know, there was so much to speak about. But I think we probably would have to we run out of time, but we most likely will have to do another discussion.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Maybe part two.
There's so many things, but you know, like I said, my platform is your platform because we speak all the time.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure speaking to you today, Alex. You know, and the thing is though, it's really about, you know, your platforms like yours that allows other people, like for example for me, to be able to come on and also have a voice.
Yeah.
You know, to join with your voices and then share our own communities to try and work our communities where we share whatever you've done.
Yeah.
I can then post it and share it and say, well, this is Alex's voice and my voice together, and therefore this is what we need. We need to be able to work in shared communities.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And this is something I really want to build on, in a sense where we can, me, you, and a few other good poets, good friends that we know, can actually sit down one place and have discussions and really just share the platform. Because that's really why I one of the reasons I created in the first place, because I think we need to have a place where we can actually just speak openly.
I agree. And also it's about education.
Yes.
You know, it's about open discussions and education and sharing of ideas and minds and platforms, and also avenues, because too many people think, oh, if I give this avenue to this person, they're going to take it all away from me. But you should be confident in yourself to build your own avenues, and it's like everybody grows together rather than we get the situation where one person is there and that's real, man. That's real. I mean, like I said, we can go on all day. You know what I mean? But thank you for your time.
But it's great. Did you wanna promote yourself? Did you have anything you wanna mention?
My name's Dee Majek. You can find me on Instagram at D_Majek Alumo. Just watch out for, in the next few months, I'll have the Alumo Rock, or now called Alumo, young people, young educated from 7 upwards, and that's the history of the Egba people from 1784 to 1914 of southwestern Nigeria. Then also I've got my poetry book, 3,000 miles from home. These are the stories my parents never told me, and that's my own sort of like look at my own autobiography, or my own look at myself and reflections. And then I've got the album which I'm recording in August, which is going to be like Fela Kuti meets poetry, and that's coming through as well. So, and the merchandising and everything. So I'm always glad for you to give me the platform, and we'll share it.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you. This is Poetry Journal podcast. It's a good friend of mine, Dee Majek.
Thank you very much.
And hope you have a good day, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.
Mind over matter, overcompensating, overstatements, crookedness relating, a soul's churn in return, mental overstimulation, one word, riveting, it tells my pilot. Streams that are promised, make seeking less.